Something dangerous is closing in on Genoa City, and this time, the biggest threat may not be the person everyone expects. On Monday, May 11, The Young and the Restless brings the kind of tension that makes every conversation feel like a warning. Secrets are being pushed closer to the surface, old enemies are circling each other again, and one man's painful recovery may be tested at the worst possible moment. Phyllis Summers is fighting to survive. Victor Newman may still have the upper hand. Christine Blair Romalotti is not backing down. And while all of that pressure builds, Nick Newman is about to face news that could shake him deeper than anyone realizes. But the most frightening question is not just whether Matt Clark is really back. The real question is, what will Nick do when the pain becomes too much? Monday's episode begins with trouble at the athletic club, where Phyllis Summers is still looking for a way to fight back against Victor Newman. Phyllis knows she is in a dangerous position, and she also knows that ordinary moves may not be enough to save her this time. She tries to get blackmail material on Victor through Lauren Fenmore Baldwin, but Michael Baldwin catches what is happening. Michael makes it very clear that Lauren is not going to be pulled into this mess. That is important because Michael understands just how dangerous Victor can be when he feels attacked. Phyllis may want to go after Victor with something from his past, but that plan does not seem easy, so she starts thinking about another possibility. Maybe Michael can somehow get an audio recording of Victor admitting what he has done. That suggestion shows how desperate Phyllis is becoming. She is not thinking like someone with plenty of options. She is thinking like someone who feels the walls closing in, but Michael immediately shuts that idea down. He is Phyllis' lawyer and he is not going to cross that kind of line. Still, Phyllis does not let up. She tries to put pressure on Michael by giving him a one-week deadline to come up with a better plan, but Michael seems to understand something Phyllis may not want to accept. This case is ugly, risky, and difficult. He may be one of the only people willing to take it on at all. Then comes another painful blow. The expert Michael spoke with believes the emails are authentic. That is a huge problem for Phyllis because it means the AI program is extremely convincing. If the evidence looks real, proving it is fake becomes much harder. And even if they bring in other experts to challenge the evidence, that could create another danger. The deeper authorities dig into the AI situation, the more they may uncover about Phyllis' own AI-related crimes. That is the terrible trap Phyllis is facing. If she fights the evidence, she may expose herself. If she does not fight it, Victor may win. Later, Phyllis spots Christine Blair Romalotti at the bar, and the tension rises again. Phyllis walks over and makes a serious threat. She warns Christine that she could expose her as a corrupt Newman puppet in the media. But Christine is not intimidated. She fires back with a threat of her own. Christine warns Phyllis that she could sue her for defamation and take her money right along with her freedom. This is classic Genoa City conflict. Two strong women, two sharp tongues, no one willing to blink first. But beneath the drama, there is a real legal danger here. Phyllis is already in trouble, and threatening Christine may only make things worse. Meanwhile, at home, Sharon Newman has a warmer moment when she talks to Mariah Copeland on the phone. Sharon is pleased to hear hope in her daughter's voice, and for a brief moment it feels like peace might be possible. But that peace does not last. Nick Newman and Noah Newman soon enter the cottage with shocking news about Matt Clark. Matt is back in Genoa City, and he is claiming to have amnesia. For Nick, this is not just surprising news, it is deeply personal and disturbing. His first instinct is to believe this is another manipulation from Matt, and honestly, that reaction makes sense. When someone with Matt's history suddenly returns and claims memory loss, suspicion is natural. But Sienna Bacall admits that she might have hit Matt hard enough to cause that memory loss. That makes the situation more complicated. Is Matt pretending? Is he truly confused? Or is the truth somewhere in the middle? That uncertainty is what makes this storyline so tense. If Matt is lying, then everyone may be in danger. If he is telling the truth, then Genoa City is dealing with a man who may not even fully understand what he has done. Then another emotional issue begins to bubble up. Sienna finds out that Audra Charles was with Noah at the park cafe. That news seems to spark jealousy in Sienna, and it adds another layer to an already messy situation. This is not just about danger anymore, it is also about trust, loyalty, and emotional wounds. Sienna has already been connected to some very intense moments, and now her feelings about Noah may create even more tension. Next, the story shifts to Adam Newman and Chelsea Newman. Adam tells Chelsea that he is done with his gambling life and that he can fight whatever pull he still feels toward it. On the surface, Adam sounds determined. He wants to believe he has control. He wants Chelsea to believe it too, but Chelsea notices something that worries her. She comments on the tone of Adam's voice whenever he speaks to Reza Thompson. Adam brushes it off and says that is just Spider's persona, but Chelsea is not fully comforted by that explanation. The problem is not only that Adam can play the role of Spider, the problem is how easily he can slip into it. For Chelsea, that has to be unsettling. She wants a stable life with Adam and Connor Newman. She wants to believe the man in front of her is truly done with the darker parts of his past. But when she sees how natural it feels for him to become Spider, doubt creeps in. Adam keeps insisting that he only wants the life he is building with Chelsea and Connor, and maybe he truly means that, but soap fans know that wanting a better life and escaping an old pull are not always the same thing. This could be an important warning sign for Chelsea. Adam may be trying to move forward, but the past still has a voice, and when that voice sounds too familiar, it can become dangerous. Chelsea also questions Victor about whether the proof against Phyllis, Kane Ashby, and Billy Abbott is real. This is another key moment because Chelsea is not just accepting things at face value. She wants to know whether justice is truly being served or whether something else is going on. But Adam sides with Victor. He acts like justice is being served no matter what. That says a lot. Adam may have his own doubts about many things in life, but when it comes to Victor, loyalty often becomes complicated. Victor has a way of pulling his family into his battles, and this time, Adam seems ready to stand with him. Still, the question remains, if the proof is not what it seems, how long can Victor's version of justice hold up? Later, Nick shows up and reveals that Matt has resurfaced with claims of amnesia. This news clearly rattles him. After Nick and Adam end up back at the park cafe, Adam notices that his brother seems extra upset. Adam wonders if Nick is craving a pill. That question is painful, but it is also important. Nick is trying to recover, and recovery is not simple. It does not disappear just because a family wants it to. It can be tested by fear, anger, trauma, and old wounds. Nick pushes back and says he is allowed to be upset about Matt's return, and he is right. Anyone in his position would be shaken. He also admits that he has not really eaten that day, so Adam goes inside to get him some food. That leaves Nick alone. And that is when the most troubling moment arrives. Once Adam is gone, Nick pulls out a baggie with a fentanyl pill left inside. He looks like he wants to take it. This is a very serious moment for Nick's storyline. It shows that his road to recovery will not be easy. The return of Matt Clark, the emotional pressure, and the fear surrounding everything happening in Genoa City may push Nick closer to a dangerous choice. For longtime viewers, this is heartbreaking. Nick has always been a character tied strongly to family, loyalty, and protection. Seeing him struggle like this adds real emotional weight to the story. It is not just about a shocking comeback. It is about how one person's return can reopen wounds that were never fully healed. The bigger implication is that Matt's return could affect more than just the people directly connected to him. It could shake Sharon, Noah, Sienna, and especially Nick. If Nick gives in to that temptation, the fallout could be devastating. At the same time, Adam's role here is interesting. He notices something is wrong, he asks the uncomfortable question, but then he steps away for food, leaving Nick alone at the worst possible moment. That may not be Adam's fault, but it does create suspense. Will he come back in time? Will Nick stop himself? Or will this become another painful chapter for the Newman family? Monday's episode seems to connect several dangerous threads. Phyllis is trapped between defending herself and exposing her own crimes. Christine is ready to fight back hard. Victor may still be controlling the board, but questions about the evidence continue to linger. Adam is trying to convince Chelsea that Spider is just a role, even as she worries the role comes too easily. And Nick is facing one of the hardest tests of his recovery just as Matt returns to Genoa City. That is what makes this episode feel so tense. Everyone is under pressure, but not everyone is showing it in the same way. Phyllis fights with threats. Christine fights with legal power. Victor fights from the shadows. Chelsea watches with concern. Adam tries to prove he has changed. And Nick quietly struggles with temptation when no one is watching. That final image of Nick with the pill is the kind of soap moment that stays with viewers. It does not need loud action to be powerful. It is frightening because it feels personal. It shows a man standing at a dangerous emotional edge. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Nick's road to recovery will come with difficulties, and Monday's episode makes that very clear. His pain is not gone, his fear is not gone, and now, with Matt Clark back in the picture, the pressure may only get worse. So as Genoa City braces for more threats, more legal trouble, and more emotional fallout, one question hangs over everything. Can Nick Newman hold on when the past comes back to destroy his peace?